If you're completely honest, most of the Game Boy Color games were shit. There are also a few belters too. But is Wendy every which way magic, or is it simply tragic? Well, let's have a little look. Wendy is a character from Harvey Comics and has appeared alongside Casper the Friendly Ghost. She's a friendly witch who wants to do good, and now she has her own game. Wendy opens a chest in her auntie's attic and releases magical stones, which upsets gravity and pulls a castle down onto the house. Wendy sets off to recover all the magical stones. It's a side-scrolling platform game where you play as Wendy the Little Witch. You can jump and shoot, which is simple enough, but you can also reverse gravity. By pressing up or down and jump will reverse the gravity and send you to the ceiling, where you can continue your path upside down. This can make a level easier to walk through, or become a necessity to make your way through a level. At the bottom of the screen are your lives, star meter, time and score. Throughout the levels there are stars to collect, which will increase your spell power. Each star collected will light up in your star meter at the bottom. The more stars you collect, the stronger and further your power reaches. These also count as your hit points, so don't skip past any just in case you get a surprise attack. Enemies are simple enough to defeat, only taking 1 or 2 shots, but some will shield your attack, meaning you need to try something else. This is where changing gravity comes in handy. Simply reverse the gravity and all the enemies will change with you, smashing them into the ground where they can be stunned and open for attack. There are many hazards to avoid too, such as spikes and acid pools. Sometimes you'll need to stop and think of how to get around something by changing the gravity. Spikes will be a big part of this, but also finding a way through somewhere without landing on something that'll hurt you. Most levels are pretty easy to get through, but some of the later stages become tricky with maze-like areas, and areas that will also switch gravity every couple of seconds. This is the hardest part of the game, but it can be achievable if you take your time and look around before you leap. At the end of every act is a bonus stage. This then becomes a side-scrolling shooter where you control Wendy on a broomstick. You only need to collect stars and shoot a few enemies that appear. But is this game any good? It's a brilliant game for the Game Boy Color. It's a simple platform game that isn't a huge challenge, and with enough patience, this can be completed by the shittest of players just like me. The graphics are very good and cartoony, the stages don't alter massively, but just enough so it doesn't look repetitive. Wendy controls perfectly and I didn't have any issues getting her where I wanted. With plenty of star power-ups across every level, it would be very rare that I'd lose a life. And it's nice to have a good game that doesn't punish the player all the time. Even when you get to the final boss, it's not a screen full of firepower out to destroy you. It's very easy and can be done without taking a hit. There are 12 levels to get through, and if you put the game into a Game Boy Advance, you can play in the Advanced world, which will give you extra levels. This is a perfect example of what a Game Boy game should be like. There's plenty of horseshit games like the Flintstones game I recently looked at, and they were a letdown to the system. Hopefully there are more treasures like this game to discover in the future. Thanks for watching. If for some strange reason you like my videos, please consider subscribing so I don't feel so unpopular. Do you know what I mean?